Shazi wanted us to look at Shoprite. Shazi, one of my favorite shares on this market is Shoprite. But you said here in your Twitter question that you are considering a long. But if you look at my previous comments on Studio, you'll know that at the moment the share is overbought on the stochastic. This is not the place to consider a long. You wanted to consider a long when the instrument was oversold. So at the moment, Shazi, my only suggestion is to wait for a possible pullback. Wait for the traders to start taking profit a little bit after the share had a good rally, and then consider a buy again. Yes, we are sitting here with a beautiful cup and handle formation that can take the share a lot higher. And yes, the share found beautifully every time, well, since September last year, every time it pulled back close to its 40-week moving average, it just kept that red line as support, and that is seen as very, very positive. I mean, the share is already up this week 5.6%, at some stage a lot higher. So you can already see in that shadow that is appearing there at the top of the candle that some traders have started to take profit. I would not consider a long at this stage, Shazi. Wait for the share to rather pull back. Your first sign of weakness on Shoprite will only be below 168 Rand 40. So for those who are long, they can use that as a protection level. But again, above 184 Rand 56, we can assume that the momentum to the top on Shoprite can continue. Rue wanted us to know City Lodge. He wanted to say, listen, where can I sell City Lodge? So I assume you are in a profit at the moment, Rue. Let's have a look at the graph. So yes, we are, that stochastic is becoming closely overbought. It's already sitting on a 66. Both my lines are pointing upwards. So now the big question is, what am I going to do when it reaches overbought levels? And that means on a stochastic, it's below an 80 or a 90. And then very important, the divergence. All right. But look here, Roo, you can't miss this. This is a beautiful window. A massive gap on a weekly graph. That tells you this is a very nice target that you can aim for the long term. And that window is waiting between 6 Rand 86 and 7 Rand 16. And we know the rules around windows are they always get closed. It can take days, weeks, months, and decades. But as long as the instrument remains listed, at some stage, the traders have to go and close that gap. In other words, the share has to go and trade between those levels. At the moment, we can see our strong resistance is waiting there at 4 Rand 43. And the share has to change that level into a support to take it a little bit higher. And what you can do if you want tighter protection levels, you can either use the Fibonacci levels to highlight them, and you can see how closely that trend line is to that, what is that, 71.62. Let me just extend that. There you go. Now you can see it a little bit better. The 50% level. And that level is waiting there at 4 Rand 51. Above that level, we can see 5 Rand and 5 cents, 5 Rand 81, and back to that high there of a 6 Rand 80. So 40-week moving average is a support. That is a beautiful level that needs to remain a support, and that is waiting at 3 Rand 73. And then obviously that window, that is a nice target. Below 3 Rand 73, obviously the tears will flow again, and the negativity around the share might creep in again. But take note here, Roo. Look here, 4 weeks now. For 4 weeks there, the share fought the 40-week moving average and managed to change it into a support, and ever since then has kept it a support, and that is very positive. That tells you this might have been a technical goodbye kiss, saying, hey, the sellers have dried up and there are only buyers left that are keen to take the share to higher levels. Ishmael wanted us to look at Orion, ticker on our exchange ORN. At the moment, Ishmael, we can see that the momentum to the bottom is clearly in place. Yes, my instrument is oversold, but look at those lines. They are still pointing downwards, telling me that the momentum to the bottom is clearly in place. I want us to go back to a line graph because I want you to see, the history a lot better and to smooth out the erratic movements that the share has made. We are below that red line, the 40-week moving average, 41 cents. I do not have higher lows. I do not have a turnaround pattern yet. I do not have some confirmation that the share has stopped making lows. In fact, Since it changed that 40-week moving average into a resistance, I just saw lower highs. But that doesn't mean the share will start to turn around. That strong support, if I look back at the history on Orion, is waiting there at around 32 cents. And the share is at 32 cents now. So it can easily bounce again and find support here, like it did in October 2020, in December 2020, as well as in Jan 2021. So it's at a critical level. Will there be confirmation? So I can either use the high of last week's candles, that is about 36 cents. So I need a turnaround candle. I need, a dragonfly, a tweezer bottom, or some formation that tells me the sellers have dried up and there are buyers left. And keep in mind, this is a fairly thin share. So you need to make sure that there's enough volume here to get in and out of the share. And the other confirmation is wait probably for that blue line to break upwards through your orange line to confirm that there is higher levels on Orion. But I like the graph. I think if 32 cents starts to remain a support and you see higher lows, the share can easily take you higher. And I mean, look back, not long ago, Feb this year, the share touched the high of 99 cents. Sipu wanted us to look at the gold price. Sipu, and I know a lot of us have been holding our breath to see if the gold price can start to change that red line, the 40-week moving average, into a support and keep it one. So for weeks now, that red line, that 40-week, $1,806, have not managed to change into a support and remain one. Yes, the gold price is stuck here in a falling wedge formation, which is actually a positive formation should that upper band change and remain a support. And that is waiting there at around $1,780. And that can take the gold price back to 2,000. Yes, it is oversold, or already has broken upwards from oversold levels. Yet, yes, there is a positive divergence, but that resistance every time on the 40-week moving average makes me very nervous. So I've got a falling wedge, which is a positive formation, but more importantly, I also have here at the moment an inverse cup and handle formation. And a couple of weeks ago, we can see that the gold price came all the way back, almost tested that level there at $1,680 and then bounced suddenly again. This inverse cup and handle formation is a very negative formation that can take the gold price a lot lower. So very important, that upper band and that 40-week moving average on waiting at $1,806 have to change and remain a support on the gold price to believe that this gold price can go a lot higher. So we've got two conflicting formations here. I've got that falling wedge that can take it a lot higher above $1,806, but if that level does not change and remain a support, this inverse cup and handle can take the gold price a lot lower. Brian wanted us to look at the rand against the British pound. We've spoken many times, Brian, about this inverse cup and handle. And look again, yes, the rand has weakened above that 40-week moving average back in the week of the 19th of July, waiting at 20 Rand 18. And now we can see, yes, it is overbought. So we know that the probability is there that the rand might strengthen a little first before the weakness in the rand against the British pound might continue. But for a long-term view or a long-term sentiment meter instrument, we know that as soon as the currency pair or any instrument starts to consolidate above that red line, the 40-week moving average, it tells me the weakening trend of the rand against the British pound is in place. And that at the moment, my 40-week is waiting at 20 Rand 15. So I assume as long as 20 Rand 15 remains a support, we can see higher levels, weaker levels on the rand against the British pound. Only below that can I say, hey, maybe I can see more strength again. And yeah, with all these inverse cup and handles and lower highs, there is easily a possibility that the rand can continue to strengthen against the British pound. Mohammed wanted us to look at Macy's. Macy's is listed on the New York Stock Exchange, a fantastic retailer that have struggled for a long time here on the consolidation phase. But we can see, and I want to go back to a line graph, because then this beautiful left shoulder, massive head, and right shoulder is more visible. And that neckline confirmed there at $19.12. Yes, we are above that 40-week, $16.24. But the momentum to the top is clearly in place. It's shooting like a rocket. There's no sign of resistance. And we know that this full length of the head of Macy's projected upwards from the neckline can take this share a lot higher should the momentum to the top continue. And remember that the share does not always reach its target within one go. It pulls back, which makes it difficult from a decision point of view, and then rises again, and then pulls back and rises again. But use your indicators to identify, hey, am I considered taking profit here? Or am I going to hold on for a little bit higher? So the first sign of weakness will be on Macy's below $22. And then obviously that neckline, $90.06 on a candle graph, to consider taking profit. And then again, when it's oversold, you can maybe consider a buy again to make use of this beautiful inverse head and shoulder formation. Do not forget to send through your requests for next week's show. Have a fantastic week. Take care.